The golf world was on edge. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund had just pulled the plug on LIV Golf. $5 billion in losses. The league's future in doubt. Every player, every agent, every fan was asking the same question. What happens next? At the Cadillac Championship in Miami, reporters rushed to get answers from the biggest name in the sport, Scottie Scheffler. The world number one, the four-time major champion, the man who has finished runner-up in his last 2 starts. They asked him the question on everyone's mind. Should LIV Golf players be allowed to return to the PGA Tour? What he said next left the golf world stunned. No thoughtful answer. No passionate response. Just 4 words, a laugh, and a walk to the locker room. This is Golfio. For more coverage in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell. The news broke on Wednesday, April 29, 2026. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund announced that it would withdraw its financial backing of LIV Golf after the EE 2026 season. The blank check that built the Rebel League, more than $5 billion since 2022, had been closed. The substantial investment required by LIV Golf over a longer term is no longer consistent with the current phase of PIF's investment strategy, the PIF said in a statement. The timing could not have been more dramatic. LIV Golf was in the middle of its 5th season. The New Orleans event had just been postponed. Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed had already returned to the PGA Tour, and now the league's financial future was in doubt. The reaction from the golf world was immediate. President Donald Trump, speaking from the White House, called for reunification. "I want to see Rory playing Bryson DeChambeau," Trump said. "I want to see Big John Rahm playing Scottie Scheffler." Jordan Spieth, speaking from the Cadillac Championship, was diplomatic. "I think there's just too many unknowns for me to have a good gauge on what would happen," Spieth said. Cameron Young and Brian Harman also gave thoughtful answers. But the one voice everyone wanted to hear was the world number one, Scottie Scheffler. Scheffler was coming off a frustrating opening round at Trump National Doral. He shot a 1 under 71, 7 shots behind leader Cameron Young. He had made 3 birdies in his first 5 holes, but then lost momentum with back-to-back bogeys on 10 and 11. He finished the day tied for 27th, frustrated with his putting and his inability to capitalize on early chances. "I felt like I could have holed a few more putts and found a couple more fairways," Scheffler said after the round. It was not the start he wanted, but the questions were not about his golf. They were about something much bigger. The reporter stepped forward. The microphone extended. The question was simple, direct, and inevitable. "Scottie, do you support a pathway for LIV Golf players to return to the PGA Tour?" Scheffler's response lasted less than 10 seconds. "I just got off the golf course," he said. His tone was flat, his expression unreadable. Then came the punchline. "I don't know what you want from me," he added, with a dismissive laugh. He turned. He walked toward the locker room. And the interview was over. The clip went viral within hours. Social media exploded. Golf analysts debated the meaning of his words, and fans were divided. Some defended Scheffler. They argued that the question was ill-timed. He had just finished a disappointing round. He was frustrated with his own game. The last thing he wanted to talk about was the collapse of a rival league that he had never supported in the first place. Others were critical. They pointed out that the same question was asked to every other top player, and Scheffler was the only one who refused to answer it. The same question was asked to every other player post-round. Scottie was the only one who refused to answer it. One fan posted on X. Jordan Spieth gave a thoughtful, measured response. Cameron Young said it was above my pay grade, but acknowledged that having Brooks Koepka back had been great. Brian Harman shared his perspective. Scheffler gave 4 words and a laugh. The criticism went deeper. Some fans pointed out that this was not the first time Scheffler had shut down a reporter. At the Masters, just weeks earlier, he had snapped at a reporter who asked him a question about his round. "That's just a terrible question," Scheffler said then. Another reporter asked him about tending his own pin on the 18th hole. "That's not great," he replied with a laugh. The pattern was emerging. When Scheffler is happy, he is charming. When he is frustrated, he is dismissive. And on Thursday at Doral, he was frustrated. The contrast between Scheffler and his peers could not have been more stark. Jordan Spieth, who sits on the PGA Tour's policy board, was asked the same question. His answer was detailed, thoughtful, and diplomatic. "I think there's just too many unknowns for me to have a good gauge on what would happen," Spieth said via ESPN. He acknowledged the complexity of the situation. He expressed faith that the right decision would be made. He sounded like a leader. Donald Trump, the host of the tournament, was even more direct. "I do believe that all of the golfers should be playing against each other," Trump told reporters. "They were viewing something as a monopoly, but it's swaying away. It should be the opposite of a monopoly." Trump named names. He wanted to see Rory McIlroy playing Bryson DeChambeau. He wanted to see Jon Rahm playing Scottie Scheffler. He wanted reunification, and he wanted it now. And then there was Sheffler, the world number one, the face of the PGA Tour, the player who, more than anyone else, should have had an opinion on the future of the sport. He had nothing to say. Yahoo Sports columnist Jay Busby was blunt in his assessment. "The PGA Tour needs more from Scottie Scheffler," he wrote. With the LIV Golf news breaking this week and Rory McIlroy skipping the Cadillac Championship, the PGA Tour would have hoped that Scheffler would have stepped up to be the voice of the tour when asked this question. They have a right to be disappointed. Busby continued. He didn't have to go out on a limb. Young simply said, "It's been great to have Brooks back, but the rest is above my pay grade." Scheffler didn't have to come out firing like McIlroy. But giving no comments and dismissing the question shows that Scheffler isn't willing to take on the responsibilities that come with being the best player alive, and that's disappointing to see. The critique cut to the heart of the matter. Scheffler is the best player in the world. But being the best comes with responsibilities, media obligations, leadership expectations, the burden of being the face of the sport. On Thursday at Doral, Scheffler failed to meet that burden. The context for Scheffler's frustration is important. He has had a strange season. He won his first event of the year at the American Express in January. Since then, he has been runner-up at the Masters and runner-up at the RBC Heritage. He has played brilliant golf, but he has not won, and the narrative around him has started to shift. Is he pressing? Is he tired? Is the pressure of being number one finally getting to him? At Doral, his frustration was visible. He made a fast start. 3 birdies in his first 5 holes. He looked like he was going to run away with the tournament. Then came the turn. Bogeys on 10 and 11. Missed putts. Lost momentum. He finished at 1 under par. 7 shots behind Cameron. Young. "I just wasn't capitalizing on a lot of stuff today," Scheffler said. "Felt like I could have holed a few more putts." His statistics reflected his frustration. 44th in strokes gained putting, 37th in driving accuracy after hitting only 7 of 14 fairways. This is the Scheffler the world saw on Thursday. Not the smiling, humble champion who talks about his family and his faith. Not the player who charmed reporters at the Masters by walking to the range with 3 sandwiches. But a frustrated competitor who wanted to talk about his golf, not about the collapse of a rival league. Some fans defended him. "Honestly, that might be the most relatable thing a professional athlete has said all year," one fan posted. "Sometimes you just want to go home after work." Another wrote, "This, from the number 1 golfer in the world, says it all. It's the press fomenting hate. Players like Scottie just want to see unification and play against the best week in and week out." A third fan said, "Dumb question. To go ask the PGA management. He is there to play golf and play it great politics aside." But others were not so forgiving. Scottie becomes less likable by the day. Spieth asked the same question and gave a great answer. One critic wrote, another added, "Been saying it for months. This guy is actually a real DK sometimes. But he talks about church and his family, so everyone just ignores it and pretends he is Mother Teresa." One fan pointed out the obvious. He played poorly, so he acted like a douche here. So what does Scottie Scheffler's reaction really mean? And why has it surprised fans so much? Let me break down 3 possibilities. Possibility 1. Scheffler was simply being honest. This is the charitable interpretation. He had just finished a frustrating round. He was not in the mood to discuss the collapse of a rival league. He wanted to go to the locker room, review his stats, and prepare for the next day. His response, "I just got off the golf course," was not a dodge. It was a statement of fact. He was not being disrespectful. He was being human. Possibility 2. Scheffler is avoiding the political landmine. This is the strategic interpretation. The LIV Golf return question is radioactive. Whatever Scheffler says, he will alienate someone. If he supports a pathway back, he angers the fans who stayed loyal to the PGA Tour. If he opposes it, he angers the players who want to return. By saying nothing, he protects himself. He avoids the backlash. He stays out of the controversy. It is a calculated move, and it might be the smartest move of all. Possibility 3. Scheffler is signaling something deeper. This is the speculative interpretation. Scheffler's dismissive response was not just about avoiding the question, it was about sending a message. The message is this: I am not the spokesman for the PGA Tour. I am not the face of the sport. I am a golfer. My job is to play golf. If you want answers about LIV Golf returns, ask the commissioner. Ask the policy board. Ask the players who actually care about politics. I am here to win tournaments, nothing more, nothing less. My final take is this. Scottie Scheffler's reaction to the LIV Golf return talk was surprising, because it was unexpected. The world number one, the four-time major champion, the man who has been runner-up in his last 2 starts, is supposed to have opinions. He is supposed to lead. He is supposed to be the voice of the tour. But on Thursday at Doral, he chose silence. And in a sport that is starved for leadership, silence can be deafening. The fans are divided. The critics are loud. And the world, number one, is walking to the locker room, laughing at the questions he refuses to answer. This is Golfio. If you made it to the end of this video, you care about the real stories behind the game. Subscribe to this channel for more deep dives into the moments that matter, and leave a comment below. Was Scheffler right to brush off the LIV question, or should he have spoken up? I will see you in the next video. For more coverage in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell.